your keys and get in gear with a car loan from ACB. Drive away with a loan that fits you. Get up to 100% financing and 10 years to repay on a new or used car. Plus, get a pre-approved credit card. So rev up and get in gear with the Simply Smarter car loan. Call or visit us or go to acbonline.com for more.
ACB Caribbean, simply smarter banking.
Jingle your keys and get in gear with a car loan from ACB. Drive away with a loan that fits you. Get up to 100% financing and 10 years to repay on a new or used car. Plus, get a pre-approved credit card. So rev up and get in gear with the Simply Smarter car loan. Call or visit us or go to acbonline.com for more.
ACB Caribbean, simply smarter banking.
Jingle your keys and get in gear with a car loan from ACB. Drive away with a loan that fits you. Get up to 100% financing and 10 years to repay on a new or used car. Plus, get a pre-approved credit card. So rev up and get in gear with the Simply Smarter car loan. Call or visit us or go to acbonline.com for more.
ACB Caribbean, simply smarter banking.
Jingle your keys and get in gear with a car loan from ACB. Drive away with a loan that fits you. Get up to...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Talking Sports right here on the Antigua Parish League Network. I'm your host, Leroy John Baptist, and I'm again in another solo act as my co-host is out at the moment, Mr. Colin Francis. He's out for a couple on a lengthy vacation, so let's take this opportunity to wish him all the best and hope that he can return shortly to ease the squeeze, as they would say. Well, today is Tuesday the 19th of November. 19 days already in the month of November, so let's see. So we have another 11 days to go. That makes it 30, another 31 in December, so I'm getting about 42 days left in the calendar year of 2024. Who would have really thought January 1st, we would be here at this moment. But hey, we're here, and we just got to give God thanks and praise for his mercy, his grace, and his blessings in enduring us to see another bright day. Had a bit of showers, blessings over the last 2 days. Was traversing through the southern tip of the island today and really saw the effects of the water waves just pushing through, and some will say clearing some unwanted blockages, and but there was a little flooding here and there, but hey, it's all good. We're all good, and so we look forward to a brighter and better day. So Tuesday the 19th of November, really, as time flies, we just got to give God thanks and praise for his blessing. We are live on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Instagram, and of course, we're right here on X. So please like our page, share it with your friends and family, and let's have a good discussion on talking sports, on any sports, any particular sport you want to talk about. Even sport I don't know about, we can talk about it, because I am always willing to learn anything that can come my way. And do remember, you could join us on our telephone at 776-2866. You could join us via WhatsApp, or you could call us direct. And they call us direct, Mr. Technician? Yeah, you can also call us direct right here, and we can speak about any sport, anything that is affecting sports in Antigua and Barbuda. We don't have an issue speaking about that. Today, again, I'm hoping that Coach Winston Benjamin did promise that he would grace us with his presence. So we are tapping our fingers, counting the time to hear that door push, and he would come in and relieve me of all this talking. And so we would want to discuss, of course, the just concluded series against England, where England won the T20 series 3-1, and also want to look to the upcoming series against Bangladesh, which should start, I think, on Friday. I think it's starting here on Friday. And so we will want to speak a little about that. And also, we want to look at his tenure has just begun as the head coach of the Pickett's Crushers. And we'd like to hear his views as to, what are the plans, what are the programs in place to get his team moving forward. And so it's been, so we do hoping that Winston Benjamin will be joining us here, ex-West Indies fast bowler, joining us right here on Live Sports. Also, we'll be touching a bit I think I got a little volleyball news. They have the Business League going on. We have the Mandi Premier League. And as I said, we're going to look at some ABFA scores. And, of course, we'll go through the newspaper and just browse through some of the sporting action that has been taking place in Antigua and Barbuda. And so I think I want to start off with a little football, just to review the scores over the weekend in the ABFA Premier League. We had Willie Keys. They had over the weekend. They had the better of John Hughes, going 3-1. Garden Stars continuing on their winning ways. They won 1-0 against Param. Param really having a tough time of it in this year's Premier League. I don't think they've won a game yet. And then on Sunday we had Pickett's Bullets. They eased over Potters 4-1, and Aston Villa, they made light work of attacking Saints 4-0. So we're going to look at the standings here shortly. Let me just find the standings for you so we could see how the competition is shaping up. I think we've completed about 5 rounds of game, and so let's see what happened here. And who's on top of the ABFA Premier League? It's none other than the Garden Stars. They've played 5 matches. They've won 4. They've drew 1. They've lost none, with a goal difference of 6. So they're on 13 points. Grenades and All Saints, they are on second with 10 points, 3-1. But they have a game in hand, so they would not feel too far off. But the pressure is on them. They would have to win to keep up with the guys there from Garden Stars. Aston Villa, they have also played 5. They have 3-1 and 3-1-3, drew 1, lost 1, and they are on 10 points also. So they are there running second. But again, Grenades and All Saints United, they do have a game in hand. Pickett's Bullets pushing themselves out of the bottom tier with that win. And so they've played 5. They've won 3. They've lost 2. And so they are 9 points. So they are 5th place in the chart. Old Road, they have played 4. Won 3, lost 1. They are also on 9 points, but they have a game in hand. And so they would want to win to either to jump past the Bullets team and propel themselves into the top 5 there. Willie Keys, they are also on 3-2 on 9 points, but I guess it's the goal difference. Yes, they have a 0 goal difference, so they go all the way down to 7. And the 5 Islands, they have played 4, won 2, lost 2. They have 6 points. John Hughes played 5. They've won 1, drew 1, and lost 3, along with Potters. So 2 teams they're struggling there. They are all on 4 points. Attacking Saints also playing 5 games, won 1, drew 1, 3, lost 3, 4 points. And Green Bay Hoppers, Green Bay Hoppers once a perennial powerhouse in the ABFA Premier League. They are really scraping and scrapping at the bottom of the bottom tier of the table. They've played 4. They have won 1, but they've lost 3. And so they are on 3 points with a -4 goal difference. Green City not doing too well, not being able to scratch that win column yet. They've been able to draw 1, lost 3. And Param, as I said, Param really struggling. They are 5 played 5, they've lost all 5. And a net goal difference of minus 19. Wow. And you look, Hoppers, Green City, and Param, they are all there in the regulation zone. And so it's a tough one there for these guys. They have to, I guess, regroup and get themselves in order. But kudos to Garden Stars. Really would have to try and reach out to probably the head coach of Garden Stars and get him in here and really hear his views on how his team. Don't want to be the what you call it, the bad luck, if that's such the right phrase. They're doing good and maybe. But yeah, we'd just like to hear what's the mood like in the camp. What if this was the expectation, how they plan to maintain this type of momentum going forward in the ABFA competition. Let's just stay a little bit with football. Let me see. I saw some school league results here. Let me see if I can just find it for you quickly. Yeah, so we know that we do have the school league presently going on. I'm just trying to find it there. Okay, that's the win for the Bullets. Okay, let's go. PMS. Hey. PMS goes joint top in the under 20 boys division school league. And this article I'm reading coming out of the Point Express here. The Princess Margaret School has joined All Saints Secondary School at the top of the under 20 division in the Ministry of Sports Cool and Smooth and Joma Patrick C. White Football League. Princess Margaret School claimed their 5th win in 6 matches with a 3-0 victory against Clare Hall Secondary at the PMS playing field in the only one of 3 under 20 boys matches that was played in the latest round. Player of the match, Greg Williams, had a double conversion, and DeAndre Ralph scored the other goal for Princess Margaret. The results also allowed Princess Margaret School to join All Saints Secondary at the top of the league by advancing to 15 points from 6 matches. They are 3 points ahead of defending the champions, Antigua State College and Antigua Grammar School. Hey, Colin, you're below the Princess Margaret School. Just sending a big shout out to my co-host Colin. I know he would love to hear this score, this standing that Princess Margaret is 3 points ahead of the Antigua Grammar School. Taddy, this one is for you too. The other 2 under 20 boys division games in the latest round were not played. The Antigua Bar Institute of Continuing Education was to tackle the St. Anthony's Secondary School at St. Anthony's Playing Field, and defending champions Antigua State College slated to clash with the Antigua Grammar School at the AJS. Oh, that would have been an interesting match there. The school football league will continue with 5 matches in the under 14 boys division today. So today we should have seen a doubleheader at the Princess Margaret School playing field. So Novel Richards Academy, they were to take on Princess Margaret School, and then following that, Others Comprehensive would have met All Saints. At the Antigua Grammar School, St. Anthony's Secondary School would have tackled the Antigua Grammar School, and the St. Joseph Academy would meet the St. Mary's Secondary School. Clare Hall Secondary will take on Piers School at the Clare Hall playing field at 2. Well, that should have been played at 2:15. We are not too certain. See if I can get some update before that would have passed. But kudos to the youngsters in the under 20, the Princess Margaret School team there, and it's good to see the youngsters really putting their skills out there, and we should support them. We need to make time to give them that support. A lot of time, we're all busy with our different responsibilities, and so sometimes, we're not really there as parents, as guardians, to really give them that level of support, that inner push that sometimes they do need. And it's good that if we can get out there now and then, and support the children. They do need that level of support. They feel good to see their mom, their dad, their uncle, their brother, their sister, cheering them on, watching them there, and they'd want to strive to make their family, their friends proud and feel good about their performance. I remember, I think if it wasn't last year before, I was by the that school there, let me tell you, St. Anthony's Secondary School. Man, and when I saw the amount of parents there supporting the St. Anthony's School, I think they were playing, I don't remember the school they were playing against, but there were so many parents there for the St. Anthony's Secondary School there that they just totally overpowered the opposing school, and there was one parent from the opposing school. I just can't remember the name of the school at the moment, and she was trying to fight them off, and they were going back and forth, but she just couldn't win that battle. And it was just good to see, the parents going out there and offering that moral support, that physical presence, knowing that mom and dad, uncle, cousin, no neighbor, friend, whoever it is, sister, brother, is there giving them that level of support. And so we just want to encourage, parents and guardians to do, find the time. We find time for everything. We want to go here, we want to go there, we make that time. And so, it'd be good that we could go out and support these youngsters here. Let's see now. I think I have some volleyball on the dock here. Let me see what was served up in the volleyball here. Let me see what's going on here. I'm seeing here. No. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, let's just go here. Next door. All right, here it is. So let's see now. So we have had some games continuing in the Antigua and Barbuda Amateur Volleyball Association Business League. And let's see what happened here now. This was, okay, we won't go so far back. Let's see. Let's look at. Okay, so this would have been on Saturday. So let's look at the weekend. Saturday the 16th, they had two thrilling matches. Showcase between Easy Fit Flyers and the Police, and also we had Sandals and Royalton. So a clash of the resorts. In the first match, Easy Fit Flyers, it's Easy Fit Flyers demonstrated their determination and resilience against Police. The Flyers started strong, blocking their way to clinch the first set with a score of 25-21, showcasing their potential as formidable contenders in the league. However, Police regroup. Police didn't like their last lick. Then they always feel they could come back. So they regrouped and they came back with a vengeance, taking the second set 25-17. The tension escalated in the third set, where both teams fought fiercely for every point until Police edged out Flyers, winning the set 15-12 and securing the match with a final score of 2-1. So you see me tell you, Police just would not take the last one, and so the Police team came back quite strongly there. In the second match, a derby between the resorts, who is the powerhouse resort on the island, at least when it comes to volleyball. And so Sandals took on Royalton on Saturday evening right there at the YMCA volleyball complex. And in a display of dominance, Sandals came out firing on all cylinders, winning the first set decisively with a score of 25-18. They maintained their momentum in the second set and ultimately winning 25-20. Sandals sealed the match with a commanding 2-0 victory, further establishing their position in the league. So Sandals really made light work, I would say, of Royalton. So I guess when it comes to the volleyball powers, there's no debate who is the superior resort there, and definitely Sandals would have really put that to rest with a commanding 2-0 victory there. And so we should have had some other matches. Let me see. I think I saw some other updates. That was Saturday. Let me see what I can find here. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, so this is all about the. Okay, let's see if I'm here. Defending champion. Let's just see. Let's see if we're speaking on the right track here. Okay, so some other scores I'm seeing here. Defending champions, APUA INET. And last year's second place finishers, the Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank, ECAB, have also reaped more success in the Business Volleyball League. APUA INET continued their title defense in their quest to become the 3P champion with their third win in as many games. The defending champions took just 35 minutes to cruise to a straightforward 2-0 victory against 77 Bus, prevailing 25-7, 25-3. Oh my, that first set was a no-brainer, no contest. 25-7, but give the Bus, well, I'm assuming this is a Bus men. 77 Bus, they came back, but just did not have enough firepower, and so INET was able to keep serve, winning that set 25-23, going to winning that game 2-0. The 77 Bus lost their second for the second time in as many games. The Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank, which finished in the runners-up position for the past 2 seasons, notched up their second win in as many games with a straightforward 2-0 victory against newcomers, the University of the West Indies. So you're telling me that ECAB, they schooled the University of the West Indies. ECAB utilized their experience and guile to cruise to their 25-10, 25-15 victory against the University of the West Indies, who lost for the second time in as many encounters. Well, this was really a comprehensive lesson being taught to the University of the West Indies, and they really got a maul in there. So let's see if the West Indies, University of the West Indies, if they've learned anything. And we'll definitely be following their next game to see if they show any improvement, there on that volleyball court. And so tonight, I think we have the media. They'll be taking on Icons, and that will be at 7. And Island Academy will meet Nate's Photography in the second encounter at 8 p.m. So we encourage everybody, go out, support the local volleyball fraternity. It's the business league, and you support your company. And if you don't have a company, don't work, just go and support the sport. Show the athletes some love. It's good. I only hope that it's really the people who work at these establishments make up a lot of these teams. One of the things I should say I'm concerned, I don't like to see in business league is, yes, everybody wants to win, but I think business league more is about the fun. It's about the entertainment. It's about building that camaraderie among co-workers that sometimes you may not necessarily see in the workplace, because everybody is focused, everybody is production driven, and it's a professional setting, and so you don't see the other side of your coworker, although you spend so much time with them. And so these sort of leagues, these sort of activities, events, they allow you to see your colleagues, your coworkers from a different angle. And so this should hopefully be able to make you understand them better, maybe even relate to them better in the workplace, which ultimately could lead to greater productivity on the job. And so I really don't like to see when these teams lace the teams with so many superstars. If you want to play, you work in a field, get a team. I have no problem. If you're the best player and you work at Timbuktu, then rally a team from Timbuktu. I have no problem. That's where you work. But all these guest players, at times I think it sort of takes away from the intention, the concept of what business league should be, and we'd want to get back to that. And I'm hoping that organizers of these type of leagues would ensure that a greater percentage of the registrants, or even the persons who are under the court, whether it be the volleyball, the football, the cricket, the basketball, that majority of the players that are actually playing at that particular time, the majority should be players from the established business. And I think that will augur well for the sport. I think it will even encourage more people to be a part of it, because if you're in a business league and then you're seeing a team stacked with all the island players, all the all the superstars, sometimes people become intimidated and they don't feel that drive, they don't feel that, they feel they'll be below the bar, and so they don't want to get into that competition where they're going to be, for want of a better phrase, embarrassed, and so they would tend to shy away. But if they are aware that, look, it's all of my peers, it's people who maybe have never even played cricket, played volleyball, played football, played basketball, but it's just, they come in and they're just like you, and they people would say, hey, I feel I can match up against him, I can match up against her, and they would be more encouraged, and I feel more motivated to come there and be a part of it. So I think the onus is on the organizers of these competition to ensure that that takes place, and to really bring back the true vibes, the true emotion, the true passion. People going out there and rallying for their workplace. I remember years ago when you had business league, you would see people coming with their coolers, supporting their establishment, even if they're not playing. The managers would come out and see how their staff are doing, and that aids in the whole relation, the whole camaraderie, the whole entwining of people. And so I think it's very important. I believe it has been washed away with this competitiveness. Everybody wants to win. But as I said, business league, yes, winning is good and everybody wants to win, even if you're playing in the amateur, in the most unprofessional league. We all want to win. But I think at the end of the day, the underlying factor is just some good, clean fun for the whole team and the family there. So we just want to encourage all organizers of whatever business league that you're putting on to ensure that the teams that register do comprise of most of the persons that work actually in that establishment. If the whole people that work there are all footballers, no problem. That is their advantage. But that's what I would like to see. But my technician has given me a signal. We're still awaiting the arrival of Coach Winston Benjamin. I'll try and touch base with him when we go on a break. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back on Talking Sports right here on the Antigua Parish League Network.
Jingle your keys
Our
and
goal
getting
is to help her to walk again. Come out and support us at the Pickett's Playing Field on December 29th, 2024 from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. in aid for my mom, Gwendolyn Joseph Gums, who requires a prosthetic leg. Get your tickets now for $25. There will be family fun games, so bring out your family, bring out your friends, bring out your neighbors. There will be live entertainment by Jokey Dan, Dior, The General, Lyrical Reds, Hell's Gate Point Iron Band, and much more. Once again, come out and support. Let's have some fun. Let's have fun while supporting a worthy cause. Salute to everybody, and thank you in advance.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Talking Sports right here on the Antigua Parish League Network. And I'm here again performing another solo act. And so we were hoping to have Winston Benjamin here in studio with us. But unfortunately, he is not going to make it in studio. So we are trying to get him on the line. So I'm just trying to plug him in into our system here. So we're going to try and get him online just about now. The technician will try and get him. I just sent the technician his number, so we'll try and get him online, and we're going to have a quick dialogue with him. But just before we get, while we work to get Winston online, just a quick update. What we had? We had, let me talk. What's this? Ooh, looking some beauty. Oh my. More success for Antigua in the Bikini Fitness Queen. Antigua and Barbuda's top bikini fitness professional, Ambassador Kimberly Percival, added another title to her impressive collection in Mexico over the weekend. The Antigua and Barbuda Bikini Fitness Queen won the title at the IFBB, that's the International Federation of Bodybuilders, Pro Cancun in Mexico on November Pro Cancun in Mexico on November 16th and 17th. Wow, just over the weekend. The Antiguan demonstrated exceptional grace, poise, and determination, solidifying her reputation as a global fitness icon to win the bikini fitness title and the top prize of US $2,500. Hey, just $2,500? Come on, man. These girls, these ladies, these fitness pro, they put a lot into this, and you know, I would have thought that, I'm sure that $25,000 doesn't even cover traveling and the accommodation, much less to the the preparation for this. But congratulations to Ambassador Kimberly Percival there on her performance, and so we just want to wish her all the best there going forward. All right, I think we have been able to finally track down His Excellency Winston Benjamin. Coach, are you on the line? Good evening. Welcome to Talking Sports.
Yes, good evening. Your Excellency, wow.
Man, I given you a title there. You have to carry that right around wherever you go. So what's up, Coach? What's happening? What's on the menu?
I'm just here taking it easy. You know, the weather is good, but cricket-wise, it's not the best. But hey, we're happy. Farmers are happy, and they say water is life. So give thanks and praise to the Almighty.
Yes, most definitely. Well, Winston, where do we start? Okay, let's start local. I think you have just recently assumed the head coach mantle there at the Pickett's Crushers, or the Pickett Sports Club, maybe a month ago or 2 weeks ago. I'm not too certain. But how has your introduction been to the club? What was the new setting been? How are you finding it thus far?
Well, the introduction was good. The reception was good. But as I said, the weather is sort of putting a little damper on what I would like to do. But as I said, they say water is life, so I'm not really too perturbed.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, as soon as the weather gives us a break, we'll definitely be rolling out and doing what we got to do.
But a question I guess everybody would ask: what motivated you, or what was the clincher for you to decide to move or to go to the Pickett's Crushers? Was there anything special that motivated you, or you just decided to take on a new challenge?
Well, I've always admired the squad. It's a young team, and I've been approached on more than one occasion, but I thought, Ajani was doing a good job over there. So give him a chance. He's a young coach. He's enthusiastic. So I just refused for quite a number of years. But then once he left, I decided to help out Bike, because Bike has been the one who has been contacting me time after time. So that's the reason why I'm on there. Plus, quite a number of the guys that plays for Pickett's Crushers trains with me on a regular basis. So I know them pretty well.
All right. So who are some of the young players that you would say that you would have in the radar in terms of really looking forward to them really breaking that ceiling and putting their name on the local scene?
Well, you have Isan, definitely. I think that with a little bit more seriousness, Yuri Smith. There's a young little fast bowler there, Sean, who I like. He seems to be very educated about the game. Tyree Moore, he's been coming to practice for the little time that we had on a regular basis. And he's warming up to what I'm asking him to do. I haven't seen, there's Jared Jean-Baptiste. We know his talent is just a matter of getting it right on the day. So, yeah, and plus we haven't seen the full squad as yet because, as I said, the weather has been a little bit unkind to us, so we just taking it easy.
That name you called there, well, two names you called there, Eason Warner and Yuri Smith. I remember, I could be wrong, maybe about 3 years ago, Yuri Smith had a rather excellent, I would say, season. I think he scored 3 centuries in the Antigua Cricket Association competition. I know Taddy was one who was championing that he should have made the Antigua team. But the question I wanted to ask Winston, and the Eason Warner, who has been around, who has had an opportunity to be into England, a few, it appears as if our players don't seem to be able to make that breakthrough. They show the promise, they show the potential, but they don't seem to be able to make that breakthrough. And if they make the breakthrough, stay at that next level. From a coaching perspective, what do you think contributes to that? Or if I'm reading it in the right way?
Let me ask you a question. I'll answer your question with a question. If you get a test or an exam and you get, let's say, 10 out of 30, would you consider it to be a pass mark?
No.
Okay. You may ask, what does that have to do with what you just asked me? First thing first, we have to look at time schedule. These guys have to go to work 8 to 4, 9 to 5, the work shifts. Number one. Number two, our association has no interest in developing cricket in Antigua. You set a schedule, you set some matches, and that's it.
That's a very powerful statement there, Winston.
But isn't it a fact?
I can't speak to if it's a fact. That may
okay,
be...
well, let me ask you another question. You tell me one development program that you see run by the ABCA. One single, just one, that you can remember.
I can't recall. That's a question I've always asked, but
oh, you've always asked the question, and then you're still saying that you can't think. Come on, let's be real. If you're gonna have me in your program, we're not gonna be dilly-dallying around reality, which is gonna deal with the facts, because what we're supposed to be looking for is solutions. You asked me about some players, And I'm telling you that Eastern Warner has fallen off. I can't exactly tell you why because I have not seen him around for a while. He has not trained with me now for a bit. Definitely, he more than anybody else, I think, had this momentum a few years ago, and I thought that it would have gone on. But what I've observed also that once they go to England and come back, it's like, there's nothing else to accomplish. And also too, they too have to make sacrifices. You gotta get up early, you gotta work late, you gotta make some kind of sacrifice if cricket is what you wanna do. If you wanna do something else, then that's a different situation. You know what I'm saying? So the reality is that we don't have no structure to develop nobody. It is left up to the clubs. And look at all the other territories. They do have programs where they look out for talent scout, put them in a development program, even though you don't do it every day. You can do that over a span of 2 months. Just bringing some water and some Gatorade and a couple of balls is not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they do. They bring 2 cooler of water or some Gatorade and put it down. You're telling me that the Cricket Association cannot afford some Gatorade for maybe, let's say, 20 youngsters to train them for 8 weeks?
But Winston, you speak about the association, and you said it's left on the clubs to probably do the development. But who makes up the association? Isn't it the clubs?
Yeah, the club make up the association. But what is the all right? What is the purpose of the association? Just to schedule games?
No, the association obviously is to their mandate is to develop. I want to believe their primary mandate is
So what was that question all about if the clubs are not part of the association?
Because I'm saying when you have general meetings, when you have caucuses in terms of the sport, I would want to believe that would be a strong agenda item for the clubs, because from what you're saying, the clubs are bearing the brunt of that responsibility. So when the clubs would go to these meetings, these are something that would have been tabled and resolutions should be passed to say, hey, the association has to make that contribution or that assistance to the club or to the program.
Yeah, I understand all of that, but to say the least, I understand all of that. But at the end of the day, when the clubs go to these meetings, they're not going to election meetings, and to say this is the situation, that is the situation, they're not going to be listened to, because I have heard it myself that the president decided that his job is not to develop cricket. That is for the clubs. So then you tell me, what do we expect? You can't expect more than what we're getting. Who much is given, much is expected, isn't it?
Well, that would be if such is the case, that would be a sad statement, because I believe I want to believe, if I look into the constitution or whatever of the ACA, it has to be the primary objective of the ACA has to be the development of cricket in Antigua and Barbuda. I can't see no other role that the ACA is playing. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Oh, and I'm hearing a little noise in the background. Okay, but Winston, beside that, in terms of your plans and your program for the Pickett's Crushers, what is your expectation, or what is the end result that you are looking for in terms of your if you want to say your short-term goal and then your long-term goal with the Pickett's Crushers?
Well, before I answer that question, Nick, I need to see what the squad look like. Okay, and then we can, because I might tell you I'm looking to do the other things, but if you don't have the players to do that, it's not going to happen. I have not seen the full squad as yet. I don't know all the players. So what I have in mind might not be what is the right thing to do depending on the quality of players that we have. Because you know that the Crushers has lost 2 players, and there are talks about other players moving.
You care to
So just gotta wait and see.
You care to mention those 2 players who we have lost?
The two brothers has left.
Oh, the Benters.
The 2 Benter boys. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big void there.
Right. So we have to wait and see what the replacement is like before I go and make any statement about what I would do and what I wouldn't do.
Okay, well, yeah, as I said, the loss of those two, those will be 2 pivotal players in any team actually on our local scene. So that in itself, I'm sure, would change the whole preparation plan, the whole ball game, in terms of how you may want to.
Yeah, but knowing the kind of person I am as well, once they decide to put in the work, the sky is the limit. Anything can happen. I've always believed that a coach make his players, even though they might be average, can make them better than average. A confident man will move a mountain with a spoon, and one that is not confident, given an excavator, wouldn't know what to do. So it's just a matter of getting the players to buy into what your plan is, and then you have to get them to believe that what you're saying really work.
And I guess that must be one of the biggest challenge of coaching for today, because of so many distractions for the youngsters, is to really get them to zone in, and as you said, to buy into the vision or the plan that you may have for them and the team by extension. And you see that a lot with the youngsters just being distracted and not staying as focused as you would like them to be.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons for that is that you allow them to get away with simple things and thinking, okay, that is simple. And then you realize that three or four of them continue on that path. Now you've already allowed that to happen. It's difficult to cut it out. So for me, whenever I go to any club, any team, I try to cut out all the little nonsense and a lot of talking and no concentration and no focus. You gotta focus. I'm not stopping you from talk, but when the talking is the most important aspect of you on the day of training, then there's something wrong. We're gonna have a problem. I am the one supposed to be doing all the talking, basically. And that's how I am, especially with the youngsters. I'm not talking about senior players and big players and all of that. But the youngsters have to pay attention to what's going on and listen. So when I'm explaining something to somebody, for instance, let's say I'm explaining to a fast bowler certain things. You as a fast bowler need to come and ear up and listening to what I'm saying and try and add something to your cricket off of the information that is being given to somebody else. You can't just wait until when the coach call on you to say, okay, right. But a good person, a good cricketer would always want to learn, always want to listen, and try the things that you've been asked to. And if it works, it works, because the same thing might not work for everybody.
Right.
What might work for me might not work for Gerard. My work for Gerard might not work for somebody else, Sean. So you got to take each person differently, but the information and the instruction, should be shared amongst everybody.
Winston, just a little sidebar here. You have coached at the Leeward Islands level, and you're coaching at the club level. What is the major? How should I ask this question? What is the major difference in the operation on either side? How do you? Is there a different approach?
Yes, there's a different approach, because you're dealing with grown men. Number one. Number two, you don't really coach, so to speak, at that level.
You're talking to Leeward Islands level.
Pardon me?
You're talking to Leeward Islands level.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't really coach at that level, or you should not be coaching at that level. What you're supposed to be doing at that time is just looking for little areas where you can improve the individual, because sometimes your bat might be just coming from a slight angle, and that can make a difference between you getting out caught behind or getting out caught at extra cover. These little things, you gotta observe the player, know how they approach their games, and just basically guide and update them on what they're doing, or if you see something that is creeping into the game. It might be moving a little slower. You might not be picking up the ball because you're not watching the ball, you're looking into zones, all those things. But with the younger guys and those guys, you got to teach them the game. Even some of our players at that level need to be taught the game too. But what I'm saying is that you're not going to teach a guy how to stand up. You're not going to teach him how to pick up the bat. You know what I'm saying? Those should have been done a long time ago.
Right, fair enough. Good evening to Tafari Sila. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Tafari Sila, greetings to you, my brother. What about the mental aspect, or the mental preparation? Is there a major difference with how you handle these senior guys to how you'll handle these junior guys?
Well, the senior guys have their own way of preparing. My job then is the plan, the game plan. How we going to approach the game. The mental preparation is dependent on every individual. Some might just want to knock up a couple of balls. Some might want to be in the nets. Some might just want to just relax. It all depends. The younger guys now, you have to get them up and get them out there, and make it a routine. So yeah, it's way different than for the juniors than for the grown folks.
All right. Coaching. Sometimes they say coaches lose the game and players win. That's how they say.
Players win the game, coaches lose them. Yeah.
Coaches lose the game. Do you subscribe to that theory?
No.
You don't?
No, not at all. The coach cannot go there and play for you. And if you don't like a coach, it is easy for you and who else just to mess up, and then the coach look bad. I can sit down here and tell you, listen, we need to get 81s in 10 overs, the first 10. And this is how you go about it, this is how you approach it. But then you get a delivery that just do something totally different than we're in the doldrums.
Mm-hmm.
Then as a coach now has to reschedule, analyze the situation and make the adjustment. Bearing in mind you have an end total, and you never change the end total until the last minute, because a partnership can get you back on track. You know what I'm saying? But the approach has got to be different.
Question, Winston, and I'm just trying to lead into a little subject matter I want to talk about. What is the major difference in terms of responsibility with the coach and the captain? You spoke about we want to get 80 runs in, let's say, the first 5 overs. Just calling a figure. How that comes from the coach, that comes from the captain. How does the game plan play out between the coach and the captain?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the players have to buy into what the coach is saying. So when you are formulating the plan, you have to include the coach, the captain, the vice captain, and maybe 2 senior players. I mean, you don't want a whole team to be making suggestions at the time. But you as the coach have your ideas and what you're looking for, and you listen to the players and see what are their thoughts. They might think that it might not be enough, and they want to push a little harder. They might think it's too much, but then, as I said, you never change your end goal, which is you never change your end total. You can make your adjustment at the front, first couple of overs and so forth and so forth. You know, and then you go accordingly. Like an example that I'll bring to you is that in 2017, 2018, we went to Guyana and we beat Guyana in Guyana. But what had happened, the entire team had who don't have diarrhea. I don't even know what to call it. It was total chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, food poisoning and so forth and so forth. And the lunch period went on for about 2 hours. Players got to go to the hospital, get drips, and come back. As a matter of fact, I had to go on the field. My assistant at the time, which is Polo, had to go on the field. We were made to be fielders, and because it was so terrible that players were just, you know,
falling down like flies.
And on the final day we had to get 300 and something. And I said to the guys, listen, there's no point in trying to defend at this time. Just go there and bat as if we have another day. And then we'll make every session, we'll adjust every session based on where we're at.
Right.
And then if in the last session we have to defend to draw the game, we're going to draw the game, but we're not going to lose it. And Casey Carty and Munson Hodge really put up a big partnership. And we end up winning the game. Guyana was trying everything. Players were calling for boots. Players were coming off the field because they had this cloud that was really, really dark, looming. And after it started drizzle, they start to do some things that you asked yourself the question. It's a game, you know what I mean? But at the time, they were the champions. They ended up being champions that same year. But we beat them at home, and as soon as we hit the winning run, the rain just poured down.
On that note, Winston, I'm going to just ask you to hold 1 second. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back. We're going to finish up this point, and then we're going to get into a little West Indies cricket. And of course, you know, I want to ask about that incident with Azari, just to get your viewpoint and how you look at it. So just hold the line for a couple of minutes for us. We'll be right back.
Our goal is to help her to walk again. Come out and support us at the Pickett's Playing Field on December 29th, 2024 from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. in aid for my mom, Gwendolyn Joseph Guns, who requires a prosthetic leg. Get your tickets now for $25. There will be family fun games, so bring out your family, bring out your friends, bring out your neighbors. There will be live entertainment by Juki Dan, Dior, The General, Lyrical Reds, Hell's Gate, Point Iron Band, and much more. Once again, come out and support. Let's have some fun. Let's have fun while supporting a worthy cause. Salute to everybody, and thank you in advance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talking Sports right here on the Antigua Parish League Network. And remember, you can join us online, 776-2866, if you want to share in this discussion. You could also send your messages via our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and we're also, and you could WhatsApp also. Yep, you can also WhatsApp us, and also on our Instagram page and also our X platform. So we can be reached via many, many channels here on the Antigua Parish League Network. We're here having a conversation with former West Indies fast bowler, coach of the Leeward Islands team, and now coach of the Pickett's Crushers, Mr. Winston Benjamin. Winston, you're still here with us?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know
Still
if you
here.
want. I don't know if you want to finish up the point you were just raising there before we get into a little West Indies England, West Indies Bangladesh. Looking forward to that series.
Yeah, so what I was saying basically is that as a coach, even though things might not start out well, you do not adjust your end goal, you adjust in the middle, and then in the last minute, then you adjust your end goal based on situation. But if you adjust your end goal too early, players might get, as I say, a small total does give a lot of problems. So you don't reduce your end total, you just make the necessary shift up depending on what the situation is. You might want somebody who will bat through maybe for 15 overs, and then in the last 4, you might need 60 runs, and it's gettable once you have wickets in hand.
All right, quite understandable. Now, Coach, let's just retrack a bit. I'm sure you would have saw the incident there on the field of play with Azari, our own Azari Joseph, and the skipper, Shai Hope. There have been many comments being thrown around. He was eventually given a 2-game suspension, and he also apologized for his behavior. Candidly, just let's get to the point. The captain is the one who has the final say of what happens on the field of play, or the bowler has that option?
No, the captain has the final say. The bowler don't have the final say. Period. The captain has the final say, but as a captain, and I spoke about confidence earlier, if your bowler is asking you for a particular field and you are denying him that, being a fast bowler myself, what is telling me is that you don't have the confidence in me. You know what I'm saying? As I said earlier, a man with confidence can move a mountain with a spoon. One without confidence can't do anything with an excavator.
But what happened if you spoke about earlier? This is our game plan. This is the game plan. But I, as the bowler boy, I think I see some little weakness in this batsman, and I really want to exploit that, which kind of deviates from our plan. How do we balance that?
Well, you have a conversation with the captain, because the captain is the boss on the field. You know, as I said, we might plan something and something happen. Now, this particular player might be weak against maybe full pitch, straight full pitch. But anything short and wide, anything leg side, you know what I'm saying? Once you give him the opportunity to use his hands, he can be dangerous. So yeah, sometimes on the field, the captain has to make a judgment call based on the situation at the time.
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, Winston, I didn't hear
Hello?
the last. Yeah, Winston. Yeah.
No, I said sometimes the captain has to make a judgment call. But my thing is, I always believe that you should discuss with your bowlers what it is that he wants, and 9 to 10 times he gets it. But if he does not do what he said he's going to do, then you as the captain has got to make that judgment call and say, well, right, this is what we want to do, and you're not doing it.
Right. I was a part of a discussion, and somebody said, what they think should have happened is the captain should have yielded to the bowler's request. If the bowler cannot deliver on what he is asked for, then the captain can come heavy-handed and said, well, look, your plan didn't work, we're going to stick to my plan.
I mean, as I said, 9 to 10 times, sometimes you want them to change the field for no reason, but a discussion needed to be had. You come to me, I come to you, we talk about it, we discuss it, and we move on. To just brush me aside and don't want to hear what I have to say. Sometimes depending on whoever the player is, it can affect you.
Fair enough, and I think we all accept that the reaction may not have been the best, but at the end of the day, we are all humans, and from time to time, our emotion and passion gets the better of us.
I mean,
go ahead.
You would have heard a lot of people saying a lot of things, but you in a team for what, 8 years?
Yeah.
I think it's 8 years. You have never been in any situation with authority, with captains and so forth. But then you hear people talking about ban for life and need mental treatment, and he need anger management, and you'd have heard a lot of things. And it's funny that the people who are talking these kind of things, they've never really played the game at no particular level. My biggest disappointment was with an article I read by Red Spurrier, and he's a man that I respect immensely. I have a lot of respect for the gentleman, but then I did not expect him to be so simple-minded and so small-minded that he's saying he behaved that way because of Ford getting wicket and Seals getting wicket. I mean, they fastest to 100, fastest to 50. I mean, what is Ford and Seals fastest to? Come on, if you're gonna, don't get me wrong, I'm not in any form or shape saying that what he did is right.
Right.
But when you're gonna talk them kind of things, it make the whole thing look like a joke. You understand me? Make it look like a joke.
And I think
and coming from such an esteemed individual, it just make me want to puke reading that article.
Yeah, I got a glimpse of the article. I found it a bit. I didn't know where it came from. I said I'm wondering if there's something hidden, but I didn't really pay it much relevance, and that's why I never even read it here. But and I think I like what you said is, when we look back, Azaria's never had any confrontation, any issues there. yes, we know he's a very passionate player. We know he's very deep. And I mean, I've seen. I'm wondering if they did a count of the drop catches that would have happened off Azari bowling. What that number would be. And so, I'm sure a lot of little pent up, maybe frustration could have played out there. But hey, as you said, everything that happens in life is a learning experience, and we just have to learn from it and hope he learns from it and can move on and just let the ball do the speaking.
But the thing is, I have a fairly good idea of the individual, and I mean, what he did was out of character. That is not him at all. So my question is, what would have caused that? I mean, I'm not speaking from a position of knowledge. I'm speaking like everybody else who would have seen what transpired on the field. And we saw somebody who was very disappointed. And one way of looking at it, maybe he just came off the field to cool himself off. You know what I'm saying? He could have stay on the field, and who knows? But
yeah. It is what it is, and as I said, I just hope it's
in the past, and hope it stays in the past. I mean, as you said, what has happened has happened.
Yeah, he just has to let the ball, just do the talking there. Winston, as we look to wrap up, West Indies going down 3-1 in the 50 over. The 20 overs, the 20 over competition. I don't know if you were able to follow much of the game on television. What's your take in terms of the team? We basically stuck with a similar team setting. Yes, Azari was out for, I think, 2 games. What was your take on the West Indies in terms of this T20 position we're in?
Well, my thing is, I ask myself the question. There's a power play. You look to maximize your run score in the power play. I can understand that. But then if you lost a couple of wickets, why not adjust and have your players have your players 21. Have your players adjust according to the situation. You lost a couple quick wickets, and I would want to see the likes of. I would like to see the likes of Puran and Hetmeyer really come to the party and play some decent cricket. Everybody talk about their strike rate and all of that. But the strike rate is not going to say anything if you're only batting for 3-4 overs and just go 20 or 30. When you get a chance to bat 10 and 15 overs, give me the same strike rate. When you look at the Indian Premier League, most of these guys are coming in at number 6 and number 7 when there's 2 or 3 overs to go. And that is where they produce and have that kind of a way of playing. I mean, I have known Hetmeyer from under 19s and is a total different batter all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Everything, you got to go for 6.
Yeah.
Cricket doesn't play like that. Once that is how they're going to play, we're going to always end up in trouble.
But isn't that the T20 syndrome that affects all of our players, where they just think that everything must be a 6 and a 4?
But when you look at the IPL and the other thing, there is always that one player that holds the team together. Who do we have that is holding the team together?
So is that coming down? Are you looking at the selection of the team then?
That too. all of that has to be taken into consideration.
But when you speak about the selection,
You know,
I look at a guy as Ruston Chase. I look at him as for that role that you speak about. I kind of look at him as that type of player who can kind of bridge that gap between the attack and holding the innings together. I don't know how you see it.
yeah, but they have another guy who can do the job and do the job more effective, and that is Shea Hope. I think he can play all versions of the games.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you brought that up because I am really wondering how do you, I mean, you're a coach, I guess you also do evaluation of players, and I guess it's from the evaluation of players you determine which role they best fit. But how do we really evaluate our players to decide who is really the T20, the test match, the 50 over? Not going off on a tantrum, but they had a little practice game here, I think, against the Bangladesh team. And I mean, I might be a bit biased, but I would have thought that would have been a good opportunity to give Joel a little hit in an international setting. But back to the question: how do they evaluate to determine who is the T20 and who is the Test match? Because I can't understand up to now why Shai Hope is not playing Test cricket.
The question is, does he want to play? That's the next thing. To answer this, right? Does he want to play? What else is it? This one? Huh? Does he want to play?
So you okay, and I guess that is the big question for most of our players. I mean, what do they want to play? I mean, I know, but I mean, he's not.
Listen, let me say this, and I'm saying this without fear or favor. There are too many players who want to pick and choose when they play for West Indies and when they don't play. West Indies is secondary for them, and that is something that we need to look into. Sometimes you gotta leave them alone. You have to leave them alone and play with who you want to play and develop these players. You know what I'm saying? Where are you going with Russell, Andre Russell at this time? Really and truly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he's not a valuable player, but are we looking to the future or are we looking to win a game? What is the purpose? What are we looking at?
Yeah,
you know
well,
what are we looking at?
Well, that really befondles me personally. As you said, I agree. Andrew Russell is a prime player, but a prime time player. But I think if we want to be real, he is more on that downward gradient than he's going to be ascending. And so I really believe the time is right to just relieve him and work on if the guy there, Shepherd, is going to take that kind of mantle, or whoever they have in mind. I think it's, as you said, it's time to groom those individuals and give them the continuous exposure. But I agree with you, and I think West Indies Cricket Board needs to start to make a statement. Too often we have our team being picked and people are just saying, I'm not available, I'm not available, I'm not available. I mean, I don't know.
We keep regurgitating these players who has not showed up for West Indies. They might show up for their club, but the bottom line is these Indian batters would have set a foundation for the Andre Russell, the Nicky Poran, the Hetmeyer to come in and have a go with 3 overs left. When you're playing for West Indies, you have got to be the man. You have to be the man. You have got to be the foundation, the layer of the foundation. And we don't have that. We have Evan who's going to dash. We all know that. But then we need to have somebody that will complement him. You have Poran coming at 3, and both of them doing the same thing. Hetmeyer coming at 4, doing the same thing. But they don't last. When they're playing for West Indies, they don't last. It's not like when you're playing for Trinidad or when you're playing for Guyana, Amazon Warrior, or when you're playing for whichever team you play for in IPL. It's a different situation. Look at the performance West Indies cricket.
Yeah,
And that is what we're talking about.
and that is my concern too, because I look at these guys and you see you just don't get that consistency, you don't get that performance on a level with the West Indies cricket team, and I'm wondering if it's psychological, if it's the razzmatazz. I don't know what affects them, but you just don't see that awe that they would show you, a glimpse of flashes in the India Premier League. You just don't see it for the West Indies on a consistent basis. So I don't know if it's the environment, I don't know if it's the backroom staff, I don't know what affects them, but you just see a different player.
Well, the thing that I know, could you play one way? On the soda. Could you play one way, you gotta use your head. You gotta have plans. You gotta have plans. You gotta execute your plan. You gotta adjust to the situation. It can't be one. Look, Pops, look over there in the fridge. There's soda over there. It can't be one-dimensional.
Winston, West Indies test team, just before we look to close off, against Bangladesh. I think that game starts on Friday. Craig Brathwaite, captain, Joshua De Silva, Alec Athanez, Casey Carty, Justin Graves, Kavim Hodge, Tevin Imlak, Azari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Mikael Louis, Anderson Phillip, Kemar Road, Jaden Seals, Kevin Sinclair, Jomel Warrican. Any surprise there for you? Any concern in that team setup for you?
Yeah, my only surprise is Roach coming back.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand that. That is my only surprise. I mean, you gotta give Imla a chance. He has been scoring some runs. But at the end of the day, where are we looking to go? What are we looking to do? You have Jaden Seals, you got Alzari, you got the other guy, Joseph. You have
Anderson Phillip, I think.
Anderson Phillip. So, I mean, what is the real reason for Roach?
Well, I guess they're not ready to change. I guess they're not ready to change the guard yet, so they still probably have him as the
It doesn't matter when you change the guard. There comes a time when you gotta say thank you. You know what I mean? And I think this is the time. I hear some people saying about Jason Holder. I think Jason Holder has gone past it. You understand? We need to move on from them players who to me don't well. I just think the time has come. We got to move forward, look to rebuild, and give these youngsters a chance. You understand? Let them carry the mantle. Somebody has got to put up their hand and decide, look, I'm going to be that individual.
I kind of agree with you too, Winston. There, I really believe, as I said, Roach. I think the time has come, but let's see how it goes. As my technician has given me a little quick signal, Cornwall helps the Hurricanes secure Super 50 semis berth. Man of the match performance with ball and bat from Antigua. Rakeem Cornwall helped the Leeward Islands to a 6-wicket victory over combined campus and colleges. Winston, do you think? There's still a little left in Rakeem Cornwall to get back into the West Indies colours?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Performance-wise, yeah. Performance-wise, yes. But the whole deja vu, his weight is going to be a talking point. So I doubt they're looking in his direction because you would have seen Sinclair is in the test squad as well.
Yes.
So that is definitely a signal that,
Looking in a
So,
different direction.
Yeah, looking in a different direction. But just like we can do that for the Seamers too.
Well, Winston, it was indeed a pleasure having you here on Talking Sports, and definitely we're going to have to get you in studio where we could really sit down and just go over and just trash all the sports in terms of cricket there. But it was really a pleasure speaking with you, and we do want to wish you all the best on your new endeavors with the Pickett's Crushers in the 2024-2025 cricket season.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. A pleasure.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We were speaking with the former West Indies fast bowler, and we know he was also a very passionate one, a very emotional one there, and really, when he went out, gave of all on the field for not only himself but for his country and for the region. And so Winston Benjamin there taking up the mantle as the head coach of the Pickett's Crushers, and so we want to wish him and the Crushers all the best going forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have basically come to the end of another edition of Talking Sports. It was indeed a pleasure being here. It was really nice just conversing with Winston. Really would have liked to have him in studio where we could really, just really rap on it. But albeit good to talk to him on the phone. Really, he raised some points, The youngsters, they need to want to have it also. You need to have that appetite. You need to have that go-get attitude. You don't always have to depend on somebody to tell you, hey, do 5 laps or do this, do that. You also can take that ball. You can throw it high in the sky, catch it, hit it up against a wall. Do something. Be self-motivated. The coach is just there to help you refine and to make sure that, that little technical aspect of your operation is in sync. And so I think that's one of the messages that came out of the conversation there with Coach Winston Benjamin. And so we just want to encourage all of our youngsters, no matter what sport you're playing, cricket, football, basketball, volleyball, hey, it takes determination, it takes hard work, and it really definitely takes a strong level of commitment to the highest excellency of performance. And so on that note, we're going to call it quits in another singles edition of Talking Sports. And it was really my pleasure being here with you once more. A bit tired, I must be honest. So going home and try to get a little rest and then back on the mill again tomorrow. But just asking everybody, stay safe. Let's be our neighbors' keeper. Keep eye out. And let's just be one family as a nation, as a country. So on behalf of my technician, Arden, sitting behind, I have to get Arden to come in front here one of these days. Now that Colin is not here, Arden, we just leave the camera on auto, and we're going to bring Arden in front here, and we're going to do a small interview with Arden. He's shaking his head behind you. But Arden, you have to come, man. People have to see who doing this production here. But ladies and gentlemen, it was indeed a pleasure, and we'll be back next week. We'll be back on Thursday for another edition of Talking Sports.
Our goal is to help her to walk again. Come out and support us at the Pickett's Playing Field on December 29th, 2024 from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. in aid for my mom, Gwendolyn Joseph Gums, who requires a prosthetic leg. Get your tickets now for $25. There will be family fun games, so bring out your family, bring out your friends, bring out your neighbors. There will be live entertainment by Juki Dan, Dior, The General, Lyrical Reds, Hell's Gate, Point Iron Band, and much more. Once again, come out and support. Let's have some fun. Let's have fun while supporting a worthy cause. Salute to everybody. And